What is up, my friends? Welcome to another. I was trying to get Finn. He just left. Finn just left. Finn the dog just left. Just as the show was about to kick off with huge news. So, what's up, my friends? Welcome to another edition of the XFL Weekend Review. I'm your host, Mark Perry, editor of XFL News Hub. And we went from, I'm going to talk about Oliver Luck's Vince McMahon lawsuit every freaking show if I have to, because I got nothing to talk about, to a ton of XFL news. XFL partners with the NFL Alumni Academy. We'll talk about that. A new head coach for Orlando, or first of all, head coach, Orlando XFL franchise, this rebrand, fallout, and so much more. So how do you join the show, my friends? Email podcast@XFL News Hub with your thoughts, or recorded MP3 or video on your phone. We'll play it on next week's show because we're cool like that. Or leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Audible, Player FM, Amazon, Spotify, Google Podcasts. But leave those reviews for Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We really appreciate that. Probably do a contest at some point soon for fun. Also, leave us a review. Check us out. We are live 8 p.m. Eastern every Monday on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Always on there. In the XFL timeline, we are 312 days from XFL kickoff, supposedly, but we don't know. We'll get into all this in a little bit about player combines. The tentative date was June 18th. However, that seems like things have changed. We'll get into that. January 9th. Oh, Finn has just returned. Finn has just returned to the building. January 9th, 2023 XFL training camp, and then the season kicks off February 18th. Maybe it will change, though. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, remember, they made something about the training camp, but they never mentioned anything about XFL kickoff a year from now. I wonder if that's going to change. So what's up in the chat room? Should Finn make an appearance? Well, he looks really tired. We'll just let him be for a little bit. What's up, my friends? So we had a jam-packed show. Remember, after this show at 9 p.m. Eastern, we have the USFL show. They are all about ready to kick off this week. Jordan Ta'amu is going to be back. Luis Perez, a lot of former XFL players will be in that league. But we want to talk about what the deal is with this XFL partnership thing. We'll get into that. Tons of news this week, of course. The rebrand, that was the big news. Didn't really want to go. I'll go over the press release and the video, but I didn't want to go all into that. But we do have some stuff about this controversy. XFL fallout. We'll talk about that kind of stuff. Also, remember, if you want to play fantasy football, of USFL fantasy football, head over to News Hub Fantasy. That actually has worked pretty decently. I was a little surprised. The drafting thing was okay. A couple people had some issues. We fixed that up. And also, we just did our first CFL show Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. We did a CFL show. So hook us up on the CFL News Hub and USFL News Hub. Subscribe to those channels today. And remember, if you like football, then like and subscribe to this channel. Let's get this show to 60 likes, because if you like this channel and give it a like on these things and subscribe to the channel, it helps push that algorithm out to YouTube, and more football fans get information on XFL, USFL, and CFL stuff. Also, if you subscribe to those channels, because there is a huge community about to explode when it comes to something other than the NFL. And we know NFL is king. We'll get into the XFL hanging with the king again. So we'll get into all that and more, my friends. Tons of stuff to get into. Let's just get right into it. So without further ado, folks, let's just get into the week that was the XFL. The XFL announces an exclusive partnership with NFL Alumni Academy. So this kind of ties in to what the XFL said that with their little relationship with the NFL. So the partnership combines scouting and training resources to expand player development opportunities. NFL Alumni Academy players are automatically receive an XFL contract at the end of each season. That's the big kicker of this thing. So the XFL today announced it's entered into an exclusive partnership with the NFL Alumni Academy, an elite in-season training program for NFL-ready players led by former NFL coaches and players. Together, the XFL and the NFL Alumni Academy will enhance the football ecosystem by combining their scouting and training expertise to develop the next best players in the game and offer more opportunities to play professional football. Quote, "This is a monumental partnership not only for the XFL, but for the entire football ecosystem," says Russ Brandett, XFL president. The NFL Alumni Academy has found great success over the past 2 years, training and mentoring up and coming players, many of whom have gone on to play in the NFL. And we are collaborating to create another avenue of opportunity for players to showcase their talent. We are completely aligned in our player-centric philosophy, and we're eager to continue to explore the bounds of this partnership. Continue to explore. So, my friends, this isn't the only stop. There could be more stops on the way. The XFL and the NFL Alumni Academy will work together to identify the highest caliber players to train at the NFL Alumni Academy. This is interesting. Leveraging combined resources and expertise to seek quality talent. Bring in the guys who are around the country recruiting XFL players. Now, upon completion of the NFL Alumni Academy, at the end of the NFL season, each player will automatically receive an opt-in contract with the XFL. The goal of this partnership is to enhance the entire football ecosystem by extending player cycles and expanding professional playing opportunities that are also complementary with the NFL season and off-season. This makes me wonder if the XFL is going to kick off in February. It should. I don't know. It goes on. Quote, "What makes the league successful is its players, and that's why we take a holistic approach to player development at the NFL Alumni Academy, ensuring that they have skills and resources needed to excel both on and off the field," says Dean Dalton, executive director at the NFL Alumni Academy. "We are really excited for this strategic partnership with the XFL, which will have a positive ripple effect across the entire football landscape," Dalton added. "We want to thank our marketing agency, Wave Sports and Entertainment, for bringing the NFL Alumni Academy and XFL together for this unique initiative." Interesting. Never heard of Wave before. The NFL Alumni Academy develops and trains the top available free agent football players during the NFL season in preparation to sign an in-season contract with the NFL. Teams looking to replace 500-plus active roster players lost each season due to injury. The Academy has successfully placed players on NFL rosters each season. Entering its third season in 2022, the NFL Alumni Academy is increasing the number of players and expanding the positions welcomed into its program, providing even more players the opportunity to train at the highest level. In addition to providing an elite football training forum, the NFL Alumni Academy offers off-field development opportunities, including life skills, cognitive training, and mind-body wellness programs. So the NFL Alumni Academy we've talked about this pathway for the top-graded free agent players that were released from NFL training camps to return to the NFL by giving them an opportunity to further develop their skills and realize their potential by training under the tutelage of the elite former NFL coaches, players, and performance coaches. The Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium at the Hall of Fame Village, powered by Johnson Controls, will initially serve as the NFL Alumni Academy's headquarters and training facility. The Academy will then move to the Center for Performance, which will be located on the Village's campus and anticipated to be completed in 2022. The Center for Performance will feature 80,000 square foot state-of-the-art indoor field house and training facility, among other amenities. Now, this Wave Sports Entertainment is a global sports marketing firm that specializes in sports property representation, brand side representation, and management and production of unique sports and entertainment events. Wave exclusively represents and manages various alumni initiatives as their youth program known as Pro Day Experience and NFL Alumni Academy. Interesting there. So this is kind of what the Academy website looks like. You can learn more about the Academy here. This is all about us. They get players ready for, action. Oh, let's see. We got some graduates here. Position training. Mike Tice is there. Performance training. The pool. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that they have going on. at this program. What this tells me is that essentially what this sounds like is I guess probably around when what happened, and it still or before that, or I don't know when, because this is basically year 3, and we're going into year 3 of what, sort of. That this is basically the NFL's version of Team 9. So Team 9, of course, you remember from the XFL days, was just a place where they could have players that could keep them in the loop, training. And then if a team needed them, that they would bring them up. The USFL is supposedly doing something like that. We haven't heard quite yet. There was rumblings that might be happening. We haven't heard quite yet. So this is essentially giving the XFL a first crack at these guys who are practicing, that don't make a roster, keeping them in game shape. So these guys are ready to rock and roll coming out of this NFL Alumni Academy. Basically, so you figure the NFL season is over and, I don't know, whatever, January, February timeframe, playoffs or whatever. Then these guys get an XFL contract just before the XFL then starts their training camp. These guys aren't coming off the street. They are trained and ready to go, which makes it really fascinating. So you have these guys plus guys that were cut. I mean, really pegging themselves to the NFL to pick up players for their league is great. And it's great for these guys. These guys have been training just as they should all year long. They don't have any game. They weren't playing any games or getting hit, that kind of stuff, but they're training all season long in fantastic shape. And then these guys are ready to rock and roll, come to the XFL and actually play on television. And then at the end of that, they get some time off and then they get ready for NFL camps again, or they stay with the XFL. So I think this is a great opportunity. Now, fans poo-poo the idea that this is a developmental league, but all of these leagues are. The XFL, CFL, USFL, if you polled all those players, for the most part, 80% would say, yes, I want to play in the NFL. So being attached to the big dog, the mega big dog, and the echo chamber that is NFL football, because it just keeps growing and that's all people talk about, even on sports talk, even on fantasy talk, they're talking about NFL, NFL draft stuff. More than talking about the baseball just started or the NBA is playing. They don't talk about any of that stuff. They just talk about NFL all the time. So it's just keeping this monster growing and growing. So to be pegged to the NFL, I think is a fantastic thing for the XFL. And it sounds like there could be more things on the way for the XFL and this NFL budding friendship. The XFL 3.0 era has begun. The XFL today on April 6th has released its new logo. Let us know what you think in the comments, along with this teaser video.
Football is fueled by dreams. To go further, get there faster. Those wins don't just happen.
They must be claimed. Work for today, achieved together. The XFL is where the full potential of football is realized, both on and off the field.
Give cities new reasons to cheer, partners new platforms to build on, people a deeper sense of fandom,
And athletes a new path to live their passion and play professional football. This is tomorrow's league.
driven by a new purpose and a shared commitment. Powered by new leadership, this is for all of us, and the only way to get there is together.
To change how football is experienced, where passion meets a field of possibility.
Tomorrow's league starts today.
Welcome to the XFL.
We have the press release from the XFL saying bold, modern design captures new brand vision, harnessing the power at the intersection of sports and storytelling. R/GA, a renowned brand innovator, selected as the agency of record, helping build the league's visual identity. So the XFL today unveiled an innovative brand identity that aligns with its new vision, values, and purpose ahead of its 2023 season. This enhanced visual identity represents a new era for the forward-thinking league, signaling one of inclusivity, innovation, and co-creation as it works to build tomorrow's league together with partners, fans, and players. Quote, "We are proud to unveil the new identity of the XFL, a strong, dynamic, modern look that embodies our vision of pushing football forward and unleashing the dreams that football makes possible," said Danny Garcia, co-owner and chairwoman of the XFL. "This is a significant milestone for us and one that encapsulates the teamwork that has gone into building this league from the ground up with our experienced leadership team led by Russ Brandon. As we continue to march towards our 2023 kickoff, we will invite our fans, partners, and athletes to co-create with us. We are putting in work today to define football's future. Together, we are building tomorrow's league." Another quote, "For us, this is more than just a new football logo. This is a new era of the XFL. You can already begin to feel the energy and mana building behind our brand. It has been amazing to feel the incredible support from fans, players, coaches, and media that we continue to be blessed with. We have a passion and vision to push the boundaries of sport and entertainment, to grow the game of football, and most importantly, unlock the dreams of all our talented and hungry football players out there," said Dwayne Johnson. "I'm pumped to reveal the new logo to the world as we continue to strategically build our XFL organization and shape our one of a kind XFL culture. Here's the bottom line and what the new logo stands for. The X represents the intersection of dreams and opportunity. So to our hungry XFL players, coaches, and fans, you bring the dreams and we'll bring the opportunity." Jerry Cardinal said, quote, "Since acquiring the league in 2020 with Danny and Dwayne, we have envisioned the XFL as a platform of opportunity that converges the worlds of sports and entertainment. We are building the XFL so that we can bring new possibilities to the future of football. This will give our players new opportunities for turning pro, our partners new platforms to expand and enhance their brands, and our fans opportunities to engage with the sport of football and our players in new and innovative ways." So RGA, a global brand design and marketing company, has been awarded Agency of Record. They started working with the XFL in 2021 to support the league's marketing efforts, including brand identity, design innovation, and campaign activation. Brand pillars. The XFL has established 4 core brand pillars to guide the league in its mission to building tomorrow's league. Number 1, co-creation. Build a league of culture, a place where players, fans, partners, employees, and communities interact with each other to build a dynamic future of football. Number 2, inclusivity. Embrace being at intersection of opportunities, connecting players to fans and changing the way everyone experiences and engages with the game. Cool. 3, accessibility. Create a new standard for accessibility by experimenting with different forms of interactivity to connect the fans and players in a way unlike ever done before, creating a deeply immersed and personal fan base. And 3, innovation. Leverage innovation to unlock new opportunities to win together. So, the new visual identity centers around the idea that the XFL is the intersection of opportunity and captures the essence of the league's vision. The XFL is pushing football forward. To do that, the brand needs to be modern, dynamic, and inviting. The X represents those intersections, the point at which everything comes together: sports and storytelling, players and fans, partners, and a passion for innovation. We elevate it to unlock the opportunities that will push football forward so that together we can build tomorrow's league. As a platform for co-creation, the XFL's new identity seeks to elevate the stories and communities that enhance the game. Build as a platform, the league's black and white color palette ensures the individual personalities of the teams are able to seamlessly coexist and stand alongside the league as partners versus separate organizations. So, the XFL continues to build its league across all functions as it prepares to kick off in February 2023. In February, the XFL announced it was collaborating with the NFL on select innovation programs to further expand the game of football and create increased opportunities for player development both on and off the field. Key areas of the focus include health and safety, international football development, think about that, and officiating and rules innovation. Meanwhile, the Football Operations Department, led by veterans Mark Ross and Doug Whaley, added six key hires in December. Since January, the team has been attending college pro days. We saw all on social media, NFL Combine, and actively recruiting players for the 2023 season. That is what's going on with the XFL. So your reaction, what do you think of the brand identity? This kind of lays the groundwork. It also, in the press release, talks about basically their brand pillars of where they're going to kind of take things and where their vision for the league is going to go. Let us know what you think of the new logos and the new direction of the XFL as we begin the XFL 3.0 era. Let us know in the comments, and make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to our channel to get all the XFL news. Soccer star Megan Rapinoe, I don't know, and Axie take issue with XFL's new look. So U.S. women's national star Megan Rapinoe has taken issue with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's on the XFL's new brand logo, along with her wife, Seattle Storm star Sue Bird, soccer star Alex Morgan, two-time Olympic gold medalist snowboarder Chloe Kim, and U.S. Olympic swimmer Simone Manuel. They co-founded a company called Together XR. Together XR. Together? I don't know how you say it. Their logo looks similar to the X in the XFL. She tweeted, "Well, this is awkward." Rapone tweeted, "Only thing Rock and XFL are going cooking up is a response to a cease and desist, an entire new brand ID. Together got this on lock, boys." That's what she put down there about the XFL's thing. So Together RX is a media and commerce company for women, which launched in 2021. It was a little difficult for me to figure out exactly what they do other than sell merch on their website. But she isn't the only one to claim that the new XFL logos look similar to their brand. Axie Body Spray, too, has taken a bit of a lighter approach on the situation. They said the logo looks familiar. Fans on Twitter also pointed out that Crypto XRP logo looks similar to the XFL's new logo too. R/GA, how do you what's with these company names? Was the company that designed the new look for the XFL 3.0 era. This is what the XFL's official press release said about them. RGA or R/GA. I would assume it's RGA with the slash. I don't know. A global brand design and marketing company has been awarded agency of record. RGA started working with the XFL in 2021 to support the league's marketing efforts, including brand identity, design innovation, and campaign activation. The bottom line is no one owns the letter X or the X that has some space in between them. Even if you looked on the people on Twitter over the last couple of days were starting to point out other logos that have X with the space in it. So this is not anything new. So I don't think there's anything going to be there. Now, however, it does not mean that the lawyers won't get involved for Together RX and XFL sides, which will cost the league money that the league is trying to save. Setting up a professional football league is expensive, and both the USFL and XFL are trying to keep the costs down. And ultimately, finances have been the death nail for all spring football leagues, including trouble with the CFL too. This is just another headache in getting the league up off the ground. Did the league need to spend the money on a rebrand? That's up for debate. A slick logo won't get people to watch the league. Good play on the football field will, and excitement around your brand will, like the league did in 2020 when they kicked off. Let's hope that this is just talk and no real money needs to be used to deal with this so we can get on with playing football. But looking at both logos, it seems like both organizations will be spending some money on this. We'll keep you posted on XFL News Hub about all this detail. My one take on this, and the merch looks nice. The XFL's new merch looks nice, and I like it a lot. And at first I was kind of like, uh-oh. But then there's so many logos that look like, Axie could be ripping off of somebody else. And, their Together logo, is different. You know what I mean? Like, and something about these media companies. My take on this whole logo thing is like, let's just play football. Why did you need to change the logo? It was fine before. You could have made an adjustments with what you had. They have to deal with this. You spent money with these guys that supposedly, you're trying to keep your costs down. And if you're trying to talk about doing a hub season to save money, yet you spend money on a new brand. I mean, that's the part where it annoys me. And I come from the corporate world, and I've seen these marketing companies. I'll give you an example. There was a company that a friend of mine worked for who they spent millions, or like at least $1 million to get their new brand with some fancy boutique branding company, spent all this research, and they finally came down. And the new name for this brand that they were doing, they're a kind of consumer event planning company. The name that they came up with was Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yes. Millions of dollars spent branding. This was years ago. And they came up with Yes was their logo. Now, ultimately, the company did not use it. And a year or two later, they laid off like 30% of their staff. So was it worth it? That's why I cringe. I have post-traumatic stress, or I just have when it comes to these marketing, brand logos or look and this, that, like action and stuff. You're not going to get people to watch the XFL just because the logo is different. They would have watched it the same. It really had no impact on the business but this is what they wanted to do. They kind of wanted to make it their own. And I get it. And it's different. It's not the red, white, and blue. It's black and white. I'm telling you, on the merch, if you go to the XFL shop store, the merch looks hot. I get it. Probably better than this hat. Probably more people might wear it. I mean, you can make all those arguments. My thing is like, let's just enough of the farting around. Let's talk about coaches, cities, and let's I want to see a timeline. Let's go. It's time to start playing football. It's time to stop talking. It's time to start, what, or get off the pot is kind of where I'm at with this stuff. But am I like, do I hate the logo? Am I not going to watch the XFL anymore because the logo is? Am I going to say this was a failed attempt by the XFL? No, none of that. I'm just saying resources, money, maybe could have be spent somewhere else. Just let's play football. That's what I want. But I mean, it's after a week or so of checking it out. I like it. It's fine, but it's a freaking logo. I don't care. Ultimately, that's the bottom line for me. I don't care whether it's this hat or that logo. It's not going to make a difference with ultimately your product at the end of the day. And people waste a lot of time and energy on a logo rather than like the actual work of getting things done. Like, who cares about the logo? Like, it really doesn't matter. Have you seen the Drudge Report? Do you know what Craigslist is? Do you think anybody cares what the logo looks like for any of those things, yet they still exist to this day? Not because of the logo. How did Meta do when Facebook changed themselves to Meta? Nothing. It did nothing. It actually made things worse. That's my point with this. I'm still going to rock, and I can't wait for it to come in. I just checked my shipment. I ordered some merch. I was hoping it would be here. Apparently it's in West Virginia. So West Virginia, hurry up and get my merch because I'll be wearing it. This is going to be a collector's item. My hat that I got, me and Reed and probably like 10 other people had this hat. So this will be in a collector's item. This was the first hat here that I got when the XFL, started talking. I love this hat. If you're watching on the YouTube. Then I got this one after Danny and The Rock bought it for their like holiday special thing. And then now we got this new one, which I'll rock too. And it looks cool. I'll give you that. The hats and the merch look good. Did we just have to spend all this money on this if you're going to do a hub city? That's my only problem with it. Former Patriots cornerback Terrell Buckley to be named the new head coach of the Orlando XFL franchise. Okay, there's a couple things to unpack on this one. Aaron Wilson is reporting that 13-year NFL veteran Terrell Buckley will become the new head coach of the XFL Orlando franchise. He is a former number 1 first-round pick of the Green Bay Packers and won a Super Bowl with the New England Patriots. The news confirms that our own Mike Mitchell has been reporting as of last week that the league was moving a franchise from Tampa Bay to Orlando. The XFL stayed away from the city of Orlando in 2020 because the AAF's Apollos were there. The AAF had not folded yet when the XFL picked their cities. Buckley played in the NFL from 1992 to 2005 with stops in Green Bay, Miami, Denver, New England, and New York for both the Jets and Giants. His coaching career started in 2007 at Florida State, went on to coach with Akron, Louisville, Mississippi State, Ole Miss. He was joining XFL head coaching ranks with Reggie Barlow, who will coach the San Antonio franchise, although Mike Mitchell was saying maybe the DC franchise. No official word from the XFL just yet. The league announced its brand new vision of the XFL 3.0 era last week. And we hear there should be a flurry of XFL announcements, including The Rock talking about as the league gears up for the 2023 season. And we have a video of Terrell Buckley actually signing his XFL contract.
Man, finally. Big things coming soon. Stay tuned.
Signing his contract with the XFL. So we're really excited about these two hires. Terrell Buckley, a guy who played in the NFL, paid his dues with all these other college programs, and now makes his way to the XFL along with Reggie Barlow. XFL is definitely putting together a nice coaching tree, but we'll just have to find out when we get the official word from the league. XFL player showcase in the work and how it might look in the XFL 3.0 era. So CJ Cavazos, Director of College and Pro Relations for the XFL, put out the following tweet about the return of the XFL Player Showcase. Quote, to everyone asking, yes, there will be XFL showcases. Follow our page for more information. I can't respond to every DM. Good luck and keep working, close quote. In many players' minds, the question is when, where, and how can I sign up? As for the when, initially, when the XFL had its meetings back in October at the Rebrand Capital Partners offices in New York City, the league had planned for June to have player showcases. And in the XFL 2.0 era, they had showcases at every team city to promote the league and see players in action. I was there for the DC Defenders, which was in a beautiful stadium and facility in Northern Virginia. Got a chance to meet the team president of the DC Defenders. I got a chance to meet Oliver Luck and some of the coaches, and it was a very cool experience. Now, of course, the problem is that costs money. Now, recently, XFL President Russ Brandon had mentioned of doing something in the fall instead. And we have heard that there might be only 1 or 2 showcases at one location rather than 8 over the summer in the different cities. If the hub scenario is true, our XFL insider Mike Mitchell has talked about it, Dallas could be the place the league decide to hold its showcases, though nothing is confirmed and this situation is still fluid. Now, the last player showcases the XFL did were an invite only, with former XFL Director of Player Personnel Eric Galco inviting players. The USFL took a similar approach with no open tryouts as well. But, as we heard with the XFL rebrand message, the league is about opportunity. This could mean a change in the XFL 3.0 era, so it would be interesting to see what the XFL plans to handle this, if they choose to do an invite-only model, or will they have open tryouts as something like the Fan Control Football did. Now, in the 2.0 era, the XFL draft took place in October before the league kicked off in February. The league will look at NFL cut players out of camp and the USFL players who got NFL camp invites but were later cut. See, those players would no longer be under USFL contract. So in effect, the XFL can still pick up the best players from the USFL, as those players would be released from their contracts to attend NFL camps. The question would be, would those former USFL players resign with the United States Football League or look at the XFL? We too, at XFL News Hub, like CJ, get inundated with messages from players who want a shot in the XFL. We tell them to try Fan Control Football or Hub Football to be seen by scouts. Also, it is best to have an agent. Those are the 3 things you need to worry about. Now, this could be different in the XFL 3.0 era, but if you're trying to get in with the USFL or XFL or even the CFL, this is how you do it right now. Now, as of yesterday, The Rock mentioned more announcements on the way. We did get the NFL, XFL, and other announcements with them, but we assume a lot of all of this will be answered at the end by the end of May by the XFL. So it's a big announcement coming soon. CJ talking about showcases coming back. The question is it going to be open, closed? Is it going to be in each city, or is it just going to be in one or two and maybe just be stuck in Dallas? We will just have to find out and wait, my friends. XFL trademark the NFT platform, metaverse experience and streaming platform. XFL logo coin NFT. Now, after the league released its new brand, the XFL also filed a trademark for NFT and metaverse experiences for fans. Many pro sports leagues are getting into the NFT space and metaverse, so this is no surprise. Just ask the USFL and Fan Control Football and the NBA. Also, it looks like and Major League Baseball, I believe, is on the way. It looks like the XFL has plans for an XFL logo coin NFT to start. So Mike Candusis found this stuff out on the trademark application. The interesting thing is Alpha Opco is how you could find the old XFL logos and stuff, but there is XFL Properties LLC that you can find the X and the XFL logo and the new XFL logo under that. So it seems like that's where all of the trademark information for this kind of new XFL is going to be. It's got lists, non-fungible tokens, blah, blah, blah. It also looks like the league could be getting into a subscription streaming service for their content. Could this mean a deal with Amazon, Netflix, or another streaming platform or in the works? Who knows? But it says subscription to a television channel, namely continuing subscription video program in the field of sports broadcast over the internet and in continuing subscription audio program in the field of football broadcast over the internet. On-tied retail stores featuring virtual goods, blah, 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 blah. That was some information in this trademark that was put out there. Just because the XFL trademarked these items doesn't mean that they are happening. This filing could just be trademarked to cover all bases for the XFL. The USFL and Fan Control Football already have NFT digital collectibles. I have a Fan Control Football NFT, and I like it. The NBA has been doing it as well. This NFT space is a new way for leagues to generate revenue and specifically for players to make extra money. This is how they could make extra money. I think it would be good. So if you're a fan of sports and will not watch if the league does NFTs because you don't understand them, that's why you don't like them, I have news for you. You won't be watching any sports in the next 3 years. All the major sports leagues will all have NFT plans in the works. NFL, Major League Baseball, soccer, hockey, you name it. Those plans are in the works. So if you're one of those NFT haters that's just going to stand your ground and whine on Twitter, maybe cornhole leagues. That's right, cornhole leagues. Or that thing in Canada where they do with the broom, shuffle board or whatever the heck it's called, on ESPN2 won't have NFTs. So you can watch that, okay? So get over yourself. Also, credit to XFL fan Brian, who found this on shop.xfl.com site, that they actually have a page about NFTs. And what it says is the XFL NFT collection launched blah, blah, blah in 2022 with a limited edition release of the XFL logo coin NFT. The XFL logo coin NFT is your entry into XFL NFT collection challenges. Cool. Future drops to be announced. For more information on challenges, click here. It's a landing page. NFTs are non-fungible tokens. Basically, they're digital collectibles. We need to stop calling them non-fungible tokens because people don't know what it is. They're digital collectibles that a person can own outside the analog world. Can be shared, consumed, but not duplicated. And each NFT is minted is a variability unique asset. So there is some kind of, what I just find interesting is it gets your entry into the XFL NFT collection challenges, which is really cool. What they plan on doing with NFTs. We know that the USFL is doing it. The XFL is doing it. How can these leagues leverage this technology, be creative, engage fans more, give them a say, give them some power? I love this kind of stuff. I'm super excited about the NFTs coming to the XFL. Could Bob Stoots be returning to the XFL? Other XFL coaching rumors. So our man Mike Mitchell has been digging deep over the last several months to find out what's going on behind the scenes with the XFL. Terrell Buckley and Reggie Barlow's names were on the XFL head coaching rumor mill and eventually came out to be true, though not official from the league just yet. He dropped some other things talking about San Antonio, Orlando, Las Vegas, goodbye, Tampa, LA, and New York. We have an article coming on about that. But he also talked about the situation is fluid, but some names that he's heard as potential head coaches to go along with Barlow and Buckley are the following. First, Mike revealed the other coaching candidates, including 2 potential former XFL coaches. One, Bob Stoops. Bob Stoops, of course, came out of retirement, coached the Dallas Renegades. He is rumored to return. Another guy, Wade Phillips, was a coach for the Denver Broncos, Buffalo Bills, and Dallas Cowboys. He's thought to be one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL. He was defensive coordinator with 7 different NFL franchises throughout his long career. Another, Rod Woodson. Woodson played 17 seasons as safety and cornerback in the NFL, most with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He won a Super Bowl with my Baltimore Ravens in 2001. It was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2009. He has coached with the Raiders for several years, and this would be his first time head coaching. Hines Ward, another former Steeler. I thought this would be former Buffalo players. Apparently not. Ward is another former, Actually, now that I think of it, doesn't Doug Whaley have a connection to Pittsburgh? Ward is another former Pittsburgh Steeler who could join the XFL's coaching ranks. He played all 14 seasons at wide receiver with the Black and Gold and is the team's all-time leader in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdown receptions. He has some coaching experience with the Steelers, Jets, and in college with the Florida Atlantic Owls. This would be his first-time head coach. Anthony Beck played tight end for the Jets. I remember him from there. Buccaneers, Rams, Cardinals, and Chiefs. He was a tight ends coach in the San Diego Fleet for the AAF, but he would be the 3rd XFL coach with no head coaching experience. Now, he doesn't have anything that I could find other than the San Diego Fleet, so I'm like, why give him a shot? A guy that I didn't even know, but I totally think should have a shot, is John Kitna. There's some other rumored names. The former QB for Seattle Seahawks also played for the Bengals, Lions, and Cowboys. He is currently the head coach of Burlington High School in Texas. He was part of the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff and coached at other high schools in Washington, Texas, and Arizona. All of his coaching things in high school, all of those teams did really well, and he totally turned them around. He's the type of guy who's been in the trenches. You're talking coaching high school football. Granted, it's Texas. He's a guy that I think really deserves a shot at getting a shot at the XFL coaching tree. I want to see guys that have coached around, whether it was high school and worked their way up, whether they're a former NFL player or not. You need to show, just because you're a former NFL player doesn't mean you should be a head coach in the XFL. You can be an assistant coach in the XFL, or you can be a defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator. Head coach, I just want to see you pay your dues. Some of these guys, I'm like, I don't know how much really they paid their dues. Guy like John Kitna, yeah, man, you won everywhere in high school, coach. Give him a shot. I totally would love it. Also, Mark Trestman. Trestman would be the 2nd former XFL coach to return. He was the Tampa Bay Vipers head coach. The Vipers went 1-4 before the league shut down. A fantastic coach in the CFL. I thought he would do coach. He won consecutive Grey Cups as a head coach of the Montreal Alouettes in 09 and 10. He was also named CFL Coach of the Year in 09 and 2017. His only stint as head coach in the NFL was with the Bears for 2 seasons in 2013 and 2014. He was Ravens offensive coordinator. I thought that this guy would do really well. Once he had gave the helm on the offense to Jamie Elizondo, then things started kicking. Could we see Trestman and Elizondo? Elizondo was coaching in the CFL with the Elks, and they cleaned house with everybody. Could we see those 2 guys back in the XFL? So this means that, unfortunately, former XFL coaches like June Jones of the Roughnecks, St. Louis Battlehawks favorite Jonathan Hayes. If I was going to pick anybody that I wanted back, it was either Pep Hamilton and Jonathan Hayes. Hayes is a guy that's paid his dues and deserves a shot. LA Wildcats Winston Moss look like they won't return. Mitchell has stated that he has heard these names from several sources, but these can change until pen hits the paper. So we'll have to see if these guys come back. What do you think of these coaching names? Hines Ward. We got Bob Stoops, Wade Phillips, Rod Woodson, Hines Ward, Anthony Beck, John Kitna, Mark Trestman. Would love to see Kitna in there. Would love to see Rod Woodson, Wade Phillips, Bob Stoops. Probably Hines Ward too. Not sure about Anthony Beck just because of his experience, but he could absolutely be an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, or something like that. Trestman, meh. I don't know. I'd rather see Jonathan Hayes maybe return, or even give June Jones a shot. I want to see June Jones has an exciting offense in the XFL. Love to see him to get a shot to try to win that XFL title. All right, we'll be back to wrap up this show right after this. Stay tuned, my friends.
Coming up this week on the Markcast, this is it. You wanted to read Rip and Loose on the XFL. You might be getting it this week. Just remember, this is a pro XFL podcast. We're very pro all the leagues, but we call it like we see it. If I see something I gotta call out, I'm going to do it. Loaded show. New XFL cities? ? Bubble season? ? New XFL coaches? ? Lots of question marks. We have lots of answers with Matt Lyons of XFL News Hub.
I mean, rebranding is big, but these fans are wanting something that they can interact with and that's tangible to them. Like giving them a new logo and another press release and hype video is great, but we've gotten a couple of those, and that's not something the fans are excited about.
Lots of fun chatter with Matt Lyons. We're also breaking down the USFL announcements this week ahead of their kickoff next weekend and our big live show. Then your previously scheduled CFL content this week. We have President and CEO of the Edmonton Elks, Victor Cui. You wanted him, we got him.
There's not a silver bullet to that. I'm not the silver bullet. I'm not, even though I'm engaged on social. It is impossible for me to do it on my own. This is how we have to bring on and engage the whole community even more.
Then we are talking single game sports betting, gambling on the CFL, trying to get Americans invested, trying to get more Canadians invested. PointsBets Canada's Nick Skolsky.
The CFL is the biggest league that will be playing during the summer. Of course, there are a bunch of upstart leagues and there's always things that are percolating. But the CFL has been around longer than any other professional football league in North America.
And then continuing our Montreal Alouettes Media Blitz, courtesy of the team, we have Jake Winicky coming on, talking all the offseason stuff, getting ready. He's heading to the West Coast, hanging out with Vernon Adams, William Stanback, and then getting ready for the 2022 CFL season.
It's a fun, special locker room, just the way that we just gel and just get along and just the way we spend time together.
Hope you guys enjoy. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
All right, my friends, we're back. What's up in the chat? Paladin and Demo. Sounds like the XFL becoming a developmental league, but that's just for me, the wording of it. They're all developmental leagues, but they're not officially will ever call themselves. He says, the new logo looks like an extension of the countdown clock. The Markcast, yes, sir. Holla from Nashville. Reed will be down there. Live show, Markcast. I'll be on it. Mike Mitchell will be on it. I'm sure we'll talk a little XFL. Fun with the USFL kicking off. Very excited to be part of that. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk some USFL stuff coming up here in a little bit. Iowa said, I hope bring back St. Louis Battlehawks. I think they will. That's no question. I think DC is returning. Seattle. Also heard that the Megan Rapinoe lawsuit against the XFL. Yep, we talked about that. Franklin says, are they making a game XFL football for PS5? And please put cheerleaders in the game. I like to moan DX football. Okay. They've stayed away from that in the 2.0 era. The USFL is bringing cheerleaders and mascots. We'll be talking about that on the show. Next show coming up here in a little bit. M. Pasco, the logo doesn't look like a logo for a league, and the black and white colors are boring and depressive. It's very mixed reaction. I'm with you there. Stock Speed Tech says it's for something like building up women in the workforce. I think it's like gender roles as well. I'm talking about I have no problem with what they're doing. I just don't know it. And hey, I'd never heard of them. So use this as a chance to get your name out there. And it's certainly got a lot of press. It's interesting that Fox News covered the story. Fox News, Succession, owns the USFL, but I didn't see NBC, ABC, CNN, or any of these others. Maybe they did talk about that logo problem. Succession, what? Rookie underscore X4. I saw the USFL team mascots. They're okay. And didn't St. Louis have a mascot ready for Battlehawks to show to their fans? I believe that is true. Scott says, go Maulers. And all right, let's get to. Oh, Dave says, will Jim Zorn be back? No Jim Zorn. I can pretty much guarantee that one. That did not work out. He did not work out for the XFL. And I don't think he would have been back for year 2. All right, let's take a phone caller before we wrap up the show.
Hi, I got a few questions. I know with the XFL new logo and everything, it's kind of cool how they define the X and everything, but it's just, I know for me personally, it kind of seemed like it was unnecessary, but that's just my opinion. It looks great. Don't get me wrong. I just kind of think it was I didn't think it was needed personally. My question is, did they ever come out and say how many teams there are, or are we just speculating that it could be 8, 10, 12, 14, 16? I'm just asking because we all know that there's going to be a team in Orlando now and a team in San Antonio, and I'm just curious if they ever came out and said, I'm just curious about that. And then I know I was trying to when they dropped the new logo video, I watched the video a few times to make sure all 8 teams were there just in case they left one out intentionally, and they all are represented in that video one way, shape, or form. And I don't know, because I know one thing I noticed with Danny Garcia and The Rock there, it's they almost like to live Easter eggs like it's a Marvel movie, it seems like. And so I was hoping maybe I'd see something else in the video. If I watched it a few times, I didn't see anything crazy. Anyway, I just want to know what your thoughts are. Did they come out with how many teams that they said they're going to be? We know there's at least 2, and one going to be in Orlando, one in San Antonio. And do you think they're either going to go the same route as the AAF, where they basically don't go to too many places where there are teams I don't think the AAF had a single, to my knowledge, right off the bat, I'm making this call, the same city as an NFL team. Do you think that's the route the XFL's going now, or what are your thoughts on all that? I know it's a lot of speculation. Anyway, appreciate you taking my call. Hope you have a great day. God bless. Love the podcast, and hope you have a great day.
All right, God bless to you too, sir. 8 teams, that seems to be what Mike Mitchell has been talking about. That's where, if you hear about 8 teams, that's because it came from our own Mike Mitchell. That's why. So that's where we got that. The Easter eggs, they do that with kind of the Marvel universe. I wish they would have teased something. I mean, The Rock did come out after the logo was. It said more things are coming. Drop something, give a little teaser, and I think the fans will be happy. We'll see what happens with this lawsuit. I feel like it's not going to go anywhere, but you never know with this stuff in this time and day and age. But the problem is it costs money, and lawyers cost money. So we'll find out if we have anything else exciting happening this week. So stay tuned for that. If you want to be part of the show, email podcast@XFL News Hub or leave us a voicemail, 888-430-7692, extension 3. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. And make sure you watch the show live at 8 p.m. Eastern every Monday. Coming up next, we have the USFL News Hub show. So go to USFL News Hub and smash that like button and subscribe. So yeah, let's get this show to 60 likes. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Spread the word about the XFL. There's a ton of news. We didn't really get to much social media stuff this week because we've had so much XFL news coming out. Really, from Mike Mitchell. We didn't even get into Orlando, the Las Vegas stuff. That we have articles coming up with that as well. But remember, check out the USFL News Hub show right after this program on USFL News Hub YouTube channel, and also our CFL show, Prepping for the CFL Draft. That's on 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. All right, my friends, thanks for everybody in the chat. God bless you all out there. Stay safe out there. I love you guys. This is a lot of fun. We finally have stuff to talk about, and it makes it very exciting. All right, that's it for me, folks. God bless. And I will see you all, you know what I say, later.